Hey, 7th grade, Mr. Hildebrand here. This is for September 23rd, so Wednesday, September 23rd. This is the video lesson, in case you missed the Zoom for any reason. First thing I did today was just remind everybody about their Sparta or Athens advertisement. Make sure that you get that sent to me. I'm starting to grade them today, and grades do go out tomorrow to parents, paper copies. We started off by watching The Myth of Hercules and the 12 Labors. So if you want to stay active or up to date with our myths, that's the one we watched today. Then what we did was we actually watched a quick video to review the Persian Wars, because I know some people missed some previous lessons. You can always watch the other videos on this page, or go to the Nearpod if you missed any of that. But you can also watch this quick video that summarizes what the Persian Wars were, who was fighting in them, some of their impacts, that kind of thing. So we watched that to kind of refresh ourselves, and we began constructing a conflict and cooperation chart. Okay, now this is going to sound maybe a little bit strange, but there is a very complicated question on our test that looks similar to the one right here. Okay, I'm going to maybe highlight it real quick so you can see it. It says, how did conflict and cooperation among the Greek cities impact them during and after the Persian Wars? So that sounds very complicated. Can be a little confusing. It's not always clear on what it's asking for. So we broke it down together. So first thing we did was we defined conflict, okay, and that we defined as struggle / fight / argue. Okay. Then we talked about cooperation, and we defined cooperation. Let me get it here as working together, okay, helping each other. And then there is actually one more word I want to add onto here, and that is impact. Impact. And we can kind of summarize that by saying change. Okay? Change. Let me move this down so it's not as confusing. Oop, I didn't want to tilt it. Sorry about that. That's good enough. We'll move it down right now. All right. So basically we know that conflict is a bad thing. That's why we got the frowny face there. It means to struggle, fight, argue, not get along. Cooperation, working together. We put the happy face there, helping each other. Then impact means change. So basically this question is asking, how did the fighting and struggling and the working together among the Greek cities kind of change them during and after the Persian Wars? So we did a quick review on the Persian Wars, and that's what that video was for. But essentially, we started off with the Persian Empire expanding, and then takes over Ionia, which was that one small Greek city. And then Ionia is going to ask for help, because it knows it's just a small city. It's going up against the biggest empire in the world. It's going to need help, so it asks for help. So we got a little bit of conflict here. So we're going to go ahead and put a frowny face, or a couple of them, okay, to know that that's conflict. But then Ionia asks for help. They ask for help. And the city that comes to the rescue, there's a couple of them, but the main one is Athens. Athens comes to help Ionia. Okay? So that's cooperation. So we put a bunch of smiley faces there. Okay? And even though Athens comes to help, Persia still wins. Oops, there we go. Persia still wins, and now they're a little angry. They feel disrespected. Because most of the time, little cities like Ionia or Athens, when Persia would show up, they would just surrender, okay, or run away and hide. But Persia feels like they were disrespected, that Athens, Ionia, all these other Greek cities, they don't respect them. So Persia wants to take over. They make it their goal to conquer all the Greek cities. Now, there's going to be a lot of battles, okay? Going to be a lot of battles. Some pretty famous ones: Battle of Marathon, Plataea, Thermopylae, I think I just said Marathon, Salamis. There's a bunch of them. But in the major battles, the Greeks actually end up taking a 3-2 lead over Persia, okay? 3-2 lead over Persia. So obviously we've got all these battles, okay? So that would be a frowny face. That's conflict, right? But by working together through the Delian League, which I'll put in parentheses, that is the alliances. They all kind of teamed up, the cities, and worked together. The Greeks defeat Persia. Okay? So by working together, they end up winning the entire war, even though they were much smaller and, I don't know, their army was just way outnumbered. But they end up winning through intelligence, tactics, but then also just working together in that cooperation. And so we got all smiley faces. That's cooperation. That's great. Okay, and then we started talking about what happened after the war. And that takes us to our Nearpod here. So after the war, Athens kind of says to the rest of the Greek cities, hey, this defensive league, this protective league, the Delian League, this alliances. One second, folks. Sorry about that. So basically, Athens says, hey, those alliances, that Delian League, that really worked. Okay, that's why we were able to beat Persia. We worked together. And specifically, they said we controlled the seas. We had that strong fleet. Okay, we had built all those ships and worked together and coordinated, and we were able to beat the Persians that way. So Athens proposes to the cities in Greece, hey, why don't we keep that going? Let's keep that together. And Athens has a reputation for building great ships, having great sailors. So they say, you know what? Let us handle that. If you just send us money, we'll keep building the ships. We'll keep putting the sailors on them. We'll keep everybody safe. Just send us money. And not all the cities joined and agreed, but a lot of cities did. Okay. Now the one stipulation was once you joined, you were not allowed to leave. Okay, unless the other Greek cities said it was okay. So once you're in, you're in. You can't get out unless everybody says it's okay. Now, this works for a while, and the Persians don't come back. And other attackers kind of stay at bay because they've got this nice, strong navy, and Athens seems like they were right. But then the power starts to go to Athens' head, right? They start to get a little prideful. They basically start to control the seas and control trade. Cities, they start demanding that cities ask permission to travel. They start demanding that all trade kind of moves through them, and they have to approve all the trade. They also start kind of regulating the currency and the money from the different cities. And they kind of set up their own little court system to try to police the other cities and basically boss them around. And so the Athenians, they're going to start getting more and more power because they control the ships and they control the sea. And a lot of people have nicknamed this the Athenian Empire. The Athenian Empire. Another thing Athens starts to do is they start to use some of that money that they're getting through this empire by controlling the trade, the money that people are sending them for the Delian League, and they start to actually use it to make Athens beautiful. They start a lot of building projects. They build beautiful temples. They pay artists to create artwork and statues and write plays, and they build these really long walls just around Athens to protect Athens. And so they were kind of using the other cities' money to make Athens look really awesome. And so the other cities get a little mad because they were saying, hey, that money was for ships. That money was for sailors. And now you're just using it to make Athens look good. And that is going to lead us to the next conflict called the Peloponnesian War. Okay? And so that's kind of where we're going to start tomorrow. We're going to talk about how the other cities felt, how you would feel if you were in that situation, and we'll fill in the rest of our chart. As you see, we do kind of have one more box we'll fill in. Okay, and once we have this all filled in, I will post this on Canvas in case you want it for future projects or studying for tests. All right, folks, if you have any questions, you can always send me an email. I will catch up with you guys tomorrow.